Hello, everybody. That was a very quick intro. Welcome to the TTEC Talent Show. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're really excited about today's show. We went to Krakow last week. Now we're going down to Mexico. I hope you guys are really enjoying these shows because for us behind the scenes, and for me being a fairly new employee, I get to meet so many new people from different sites and really get to explore the city and the passion that is behind there. But I am getting a little bit ahead of myself. I want to welcome everybody to Volume 2, Episode 14. 14 episodes already of the Talent Show powered by TTEC. I'm your host today, if you didn't know, Jennifer Nelson. Hello. Every other Thursday at noon Eastern, we focus on TTEC's most valuable asset, its talent, the people behind the scenes who bring the skills, the drive, and the life to TTEC. After all, people are at the heart of what TTEC is and the TTEC human experience elevated. That being said, now that I've teased out the show, I've done the intro, I want to hear from you guys in the audience. Where are you tuning in from? Are you at home? Are you back to work? Are you on vacation? Because it is the summertime. Drop it in the comments. Let us know where you're tuning in from. If you don't know, I'm in sunny South Florida. And we've been very fortunate thus far to skirt Hurricane Elsa. Thank you very much. I appreciate everything up there. We've left it a warm and muggy day with a little bit of rain, but I'm very happy to be healthy and safe here in Florida. So let's see, where do we got? Temple, Texas in the house. Oh yeah, we got Mexico City. We're going to talk all about you guys today. I'm really excited about that. Noel's in home in India. Very nice. Working from home. Yes, I think a lot of us are still working from home, and that's amazing. Let's see what else. Greeley, Colorado. Jamie must be working with TTEC Colorado. Love to see it at home. Yeah, I'm at home as well. Loving that, and not quite ready to ever go back into the office. And I hope that that continues. But there's a lot of things that do happen at sites. There's a lot of family that happens at sites. And if you didn't know, that's today's topic. It's meeting the family behind TTEC Mexico City. So as I mentioned, we went to Europe 2 weeks ago. Now we're going to Mexico City to hear more from a couple amazing people that have really built a family, not only for the employees that are working there, but for the clients that are coming in and have some questions to ask them about what that life is like. So our first guest is Christian Alvarez. He's the director of service delivery and the site director for TTEC Mexico City. Chris has a bachelor's in computer systems engineering and has been with TTEC for over 15 years. It's amazing. Our second guest is Leon de la Rosa, who's born in Mexico City. He's been with TTEC for 13 years and now supplies development and mentorship to over 1,000 associates as the executive director at TTEC Mexico City. So we have the site director, we have the executive director, we have a really good breadth of knowledge and experience to tell us about the family there at Mexico City. So our lovely producers behind the scenes, would you please bring Chris and Leon on to the show? Hello, gentlemen. How are you doing?
Hello, good morning. All good. What about you, Jen?
I'm staying dry. That's all I can appreciate. And I wish the best for everybody up the East Coast of the United States to stay dry and safe. Nice. So I did a very brief introduction, just took a few minutes to talk about your very basic bio information. Chris, starting with you, I'd love if you'd share a bit more about yourself beyond that. And then from there, the same with you, Leon, because I think your experiences are so great to share.
Sounds good. Yeah, no problem. Well, I'm raised and born in Mexico City. I learned English in Mexico City. I have never lived in the States. Funny fact, I used to get some Mormon people in my house just to be able to practice my English. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I love basketball, and I'm getting ahead of myself, but Leon does as well. I love Mexican wrestling. That's also something that a lot of people don't know about me. Um, and I love reading. I love movies. Um, I love working for TTEC. And as you mentioned, Jen, I've been around for 15 years, and I'll be sharing a little bit of my experience later on.
Perfect. How about you, Leon?
So yes, I actually went to law school. I think nobody really grows up to think I'm gonna work in a BPO industry, but I fell in love with TTEC at some point, and I just love to work with people. Yes, I like basketball. I actually had played with Chris many times. TTEC in Mexico City actually does these tiny tournaments when there is no COVID. And I just like a lot of the activities that go on around here. So I basically work a lot with leaders from 3 different sites, and I just love to really develop people, and I like to make this a better environment for them. Like that is the one thing I really love about this. I have a kid. He's 13 years old, so he's about my height. He's the reason why I entered to work at TTEC, and that motor got me to where I am today.
Very amazing. I love that you guys share such personal antidotes to your introductions. It's not just about, okay, I have a computer science degree, but it's about I'm a dad and I'm proud and I love Mexican wrestling. Like that's so much more fun to share about ourselves. All right, so Chris, TTEC was your first job. And it's where you met your wife, which my heart just melts at. So I feel like there's a lot of experience that has happened to you. Would you share maybe a couple instances or any of your experience along the way?
No problem. Yes, happy to share. This is my first job. I started just as everyone on a training room. I didn't know what a call center was, to be honest, when I joined. I had no idea what was happening in the back end. But, just as Leon mentioned, this is something that grows on you. And once you experience, at least for TTEC, you just get to build this little inner thing that motivates you to keep growing within the company, which is one of the greatest things that I have experienced here. I was able to build a career path from the beginning, from being an agent all the way to now being the director, the site director, or just like Leon, an executive director, right? So that is, I think, one of the greatness that we have as a company. Yes, I met my wife in TTEC. Not going to give you more details about it because it was a really long story. Just can say in a nutshell that I tried really hard to gain her heart, and I did. Now we have 2 beautiful kids, right? But TTEC has given me so much. I've been able to travel. I've been able to interact with people from other regions, other countries, learn about their culture. And I think it's just amazing. It's been an amazing experience for me in these 15 years.
It's always so positive to hear, and it's the story that's echoed for so many people that start out as associates and move up to bigger and better positions within TTEC. They love it, they stay with it, and they really develop a family. So I'm so glad to hear that not only did you start out here, but you grew with TTEC. Leon, I also love hearing about your experiences with TTEC because you always convey such passion. And as we were talking behind the scenes, you talked a lot about inclusivity at TTEC Mexico City. Would you share some of those thoughts that you've had in the past and your experience with inclusivity with the audience?
Yeah. What happened is that I went to law school. I worked with law firms. I work in actually a federal court. And Mexico, 13 years ago, the inclusive thing was not really that trending. And the reality is that all business models do have a lot of prejudice. When the first time I got to TTEC, the first thing I realized is that, like, there was older people working with me. There was people from, like, Mexico City. It's a 22 million people city. You have a great variety of people, and in some other businesses, they are not treated exactly the same. When I first got to TTEC, I fell in love with it just because I always thought that while in the workplace, your job defines you, or like whatever you do defines you, your effort or your capabilities or whatever. And I think that sometimes it's not as fair as it should be. But once I got to TTEC, it really amazed me and it made me fell in love with it. I love competition. So on top of that, Chris was a supervisor. Then I became a supervisor. Like he became a manager. Long time later, I became a manager. So it is all in good competition, but I just like that. And he has always supported me. So talking about that, that is also another thing. Everything we learned in TTEC was built within TTEC. Like this is not what I'm doing today is not really what I went to college for. But the reality is that kind of things, building your team from the ground. I took calls, he took calls, everybody took calls in here. It just gives you that feeling that you're really built into the actual company. I just loved it. Like honestly, that kind of things get to me, especially because like I believe I went to law school because I believe in justice, and I think like the inclusion of the people is the right way to do stuff. So seeing a company that already has that values and put it in practice without really at that time, right now it's different, but at that time it was not really something that was sold as a merchandise or as a brand or anything, but it's really in its core. So that is how I fell in love with this. I was actually offered different jobs in law and law related jobs. I just decided to stay here because of that. Whenever you live by your principles, like that is something that is super charming for me. So yeah, that is what I like.
I'm glad you chose to stay with TTEC so we can have this conversation today. I want to pivot a little bit to talk about the family and talk about how the work environment has changed with TTEC Mexico City. And I'm going to start with Chris and then ask you, Leon, to kind of expand on it, because as we've talked in the pre-show and before leading up to this, there was a lot of passion. And if you guys in the audience can't hear passion in Leon's voice, wait for this conversation. So, there was a big shift for everybody during COVID, but I think you guys really hit the mark about family and TTEC Mexico City. And I'd love for you guys to share how everybody came together, both from a client side and operational side, but also from like the family side, from the employee side. And we'll start with you, Chris, and then go maybe on to Leon, and maybe he can share a little bit too.
Sounds good. Yeah. No problem. So March last year, right? End of March, COVID hits Mexico City in particular. There was a lot of uncertainty around. We didn't know what was going to happen, what was going to be the take of the company. Everyone was asking what's going on, right? It was those moments that really hit, and we were not expecting this, right? So the decision was made, and then we were going home, all of us, right? We were talking about 1.5 thousand employees going home, starting the at-home work life, which we didn't have experience with. And it's just great. I mean, one of our values is the fact of being around with the people, bringing everyone together, right? And that value, act as one, is just something that, came alive at that moment, because we needed to get together, everyone, supervisors, QAs, all the G&A staff, administrative staff on the company, roll up our sleeves, get computers, pack them in boxes. We stayed 3 days overnight, having all the guys sent on a taxi service to their houses so they could be safe, doing a lot of IT testing, making sure that we would be successful, right? And whenever this time came around, we were just so proud of the family that we are, how, that TTEC culture comes alive, and the fact that everyone was just helping out, spending long hours, because we really spend long hours working, like from 9 a.m. All the way to the next day. It was just an amazing time, to be honest. I'm really proud of being part of this team.
That's amazing. And I can see it in the comments. People are commenting, Viva Mexico. I think what you're saying is resonating with a lot of people. And I do have a question for the audience. As you guys are starting to participate today, how important is a sense of family in your workplace environment? I'd love if you'd share some thoughts on that as we're talking about creating a culture of family, not only for clients, but for those around you. I think it's super important. I think it makes or breaks a company's culture, and especially when we're all in a crisis and we're in an office together. So, Leon, I think that you shared some great additional stories and aspects to this time, and I love hearing you talk about the fellow people in your office. So, I'd love if you'd share a little bit about COVID and up to now.
I will not talk about COVID. Like Chris already covered it. Act as one, it's really something that has defined us, even in the past. Like, let's not talk about COVID. Let's go to 2017. There was a super big earthquake in Mexico City. We had to evacuate like all the employees from the actual building. I was inside of the building at the time. And whenever you think about Act as one, we really came out, and people was really concerned about the building. The leadership actually made the groups to go back to pick your stuff when they declared that the building was safe. And this happened in a lapse of hours. Then the building needed a more thorough revision, and we were closed for 3 days. And TTEC decided to actually pay full wages to everybody, because TTEC understand that there is a financial need behind everything. And when a company cares for their employees, like, that is the one thing that you cannot match with any kind of money. It is not about development to be a better employee. It is development for you most of the times, but also this kind of actions. Also, in my case, with the account that I'm with, the client decided to pay half of the wages for those 3 days that the site was closed. Like, it was so amazing to have this. And coming back, people was nervous, because obviously after a major incident like this, and I'm not talking about the global pandemic, but something from the city, the reality is that we actually talked to the people, and I gave tours with them through the building to tell them, look, this is how the building was checked. This is what we do. Like, I think that information, and to take the time to just clear those insecurities, make you really secure. And I always told them, like, I wouldn't be here if something was not secure. Like, nobody pays me enough for my life or anything, and I just want you to be secure and be sure that whatever we do it all together. So I think that act as one thing is something really, I think it's also cultural, because Mexicans usually are really, really strong bonding against anything that is bad. But the reality is that the celebrations we do whenever everything is good, like all the recognition that the site through Chris and through his programs are doing, or internal to any account, really bring us up and they pump us up. I think that we are a really proud culture. I think that we have a lot of pride to work in TTEC. At least I know whenever Chris said, I was really proud of everybody, I remember that I felt like that pounding in my chest every time I saw people helping each other. The same with COVID. People from 11 p.m. when the shift is over till 5 a.m. in the site, just packing computers and checking if you can connect at home. All of that for the normal person that works, it's common, but for all the leaders to stay sometimes for 20 hours in a day, because they want people to be, number one, safe, and number two, able to keep making money. That is what we want the job for. Like, that just means the world for me. Like, as I told you before, I'm really passionate about values and about like what the culture really means. So that is what TTEC has on me, that they keep charming me. And it is not built by one person, but it is built by every single person inside that building, or every single person at home today. Because even today, people share how to do things better and everything, even if it's through a chat, even if we do video conference or something. Like, yeah. I just really, really like the way we are designed and the way we are portrayed, and I'm also super proud of every single one of them, because they really put their hearts into this.
I love hearing the pride. I mean, from everything you've told me behind the scenes and here on camera, there is such a pride in working with your team and with your clients, and that is easily reflected in how long you've stayed with your organization and how you talk about the people around you, even each other. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for coming on air today, sharing some of the insight and what it's like to work in a family in TTEC Mexico City. So thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Jane. It was amazing.
Have a great day.
Yes.
So that was, I feel all emotional now as I have to go into talking about the highlighted roles at TTEC. It's a good thing that our first highlighted role is actually a bilingual customer service representative, Spanish English remote opportunity with these gentlemen in Mexico City. So I want to always start out with showing you how to find the opportunities they have, because I know you guys are going to want to work with Chris and Leon. So you always go to ttecjobs.com. That's the first place. It's the home. It's every opportunity we have is there. And at any given time, there's probably 2,000 positions open ready for you guys to join the TTEC family. I always search in key titles and or keywords. So you can do customer service. You can use Mexico City. You can use remote as a keyword. From there, you can also go into location. In this case, Mexico City. So there are some pretty good highlights on this. You, as a customer service representative, will be supporting the customers over mail. You'll be or email, over chat, over phone. You'll answer questions and seek first to understand, which is one of our TTEC values, the needs of those customers, and then of course supply the outcome that they need. There's a base salary plus work from home stipend, including electricity, internet. Stipend, which is very nice for those in Mexico City. All regular government law benefits, including healthcare and insurance, fully paid training, and then, as you've very clearly seen, a family-friendly environment. Our second position is one of a senior manager sales service delivery, and this is out of our Krakow office. So if you didn't learn about the culture and what it's like to live in Krakow, please go back 2 weeks and meet Kenneth and really get to know the dynamics that are happening there. But they're looking for a senior manager, sales service delivery. This is an opportunity to work with an award-winning new TTEC site, beautiful office out there, manage the sales and operations for a global leader in technology. They have a very strong technology client out there in Krakow. And then, of course, the beautiful, dynamic, and very young city, as I've learned, of Krakow, Poland. So you get to visit a great city and possibly move throughout Europe a little bit. So today, that's the end of our show. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed our talent show powered by TTEC, because TTEC is powered by our talent. I want to take a moment and thank our guests, Chris and Leon, as well as everyone behind the scenes who works tirelessly to make sure the show goes off without a hitch. Really appreciate the production team and everybody behind this show makes it happen on a bi-weekly basis. We'll see you again in 2 weeks on July 22nd. We'll meet 2 employees from Belfast. So we're jumping all over the globe. I hope you'll join us then. Have a great day.